The ice water hit her face with shocking force, soaking textbooks and electronics in one cruel motion. Emma Brennan sat frozen in her wheelchair, 17 years old and drowning in humiliation as Tyler Crawford laughed above her. But what Tyler didn't know, what none of them knew, was that her father was watching. And Colonel David Brennan hadn't survived 3 decades of special operations by letting threats to his family go unanswered. The Texas sun blazed merciless over Fort Hood's training grounds that September morning in 2003. Colonel David Brennan stood watching recruits complete their final circuit, his weathered face revealing nothing of the tactical mind, constantly assessing, calculating, planning. At 61, he carried himself with the coiled readiness of a weapon that never quite holstered. 30 years of Delta Force operations had burned patience and precision into his DNA. His phone vibrated. Principal Eleanor Hayes from Oak Ridge High. His daughter Emma was involved in an incident. Come immediately. Brennan calculated travel time, threat assessment, response protocols. 7 minutes to the truck. 15 to the school. Whatever had happened, someone had miscalculated badly. Emma had been in that wheelchair for 3 years, since a drunk driver crossed the median on Highway 190. She'd lost the use of her legs, but gained something more dangerous. Her father's strategic mind, combined with her late mother Rachel's unwavering determination. The combination made her formidable, which was why West Point's early admission committee had already accepted her application. Tyler Crawford didn't understand this. The quarterback saw only the wheelchair, not the person commanding it. For 9 months, he and his teammates had conducted a systematic harassment campaign. Stolen assignments, vandalized property, social media attacks, physical intimidation. All carefully orchestrated to stay below administrative intervention thresholds. All directed by a boy whose father had taught him that power meant immunity from consequences. Victor Crawford. The name tasted like ash in Brennan's mouth. Kuwait, 1991. Lieutenant Crawford had sold American weapons to enemy forces, provided intelligence that killed 3 soldiers. Brennan had documented everything, reported through proper channels. Crawford's father was a 2-star general with Pentagon connections. The evidence disappeared. Crawford received a general discharge and went home to build a real estate empire, while the men who died were listed as routine combat casualties. Now Crawford's son was targeting Emma, using her to hurt Brennan. Some wars never ended. They just changed battlefields. The conference room at Oak Ridge High contained 5 people when Brennan arrived. Principal Hayes looked uncomfortable. Emma sat straight-backed, despite the visible mark on her cheek. Tyler sprawled arrogantly until Brennan's gaze found him. And at the table's head sat Victor Crawford himself, expensive suit announcing success built on betrayal. David, Crawford smiled with practiced insincerity. What a surprise. Brennan ignored him, focusing on Emma. Are you hurt? I'm fine, Dad. The principal explained. Tyler had made comments about Emma's disability. She'd dumped her lunch tray on him. He'd struck her in response. Self-defense, Brennan stated flatly. Crawford leaned forward. Boys get rambunctious. No need for drama over teenage friction. Your son assaulted my daughter. That's not friction. That's criminal battery. Let's not escalate, Principal Hayes interjected. Tyler is our star quarterback. Championship game next week. Surely we can find accommodation. Emma spoke quietly. He said I should have died in the accident instead of wasting a West Point slot that should go to someone who can actually serve. The room temperature dropped. Brennan's expression revealed nothing, but those who knew him would recognize the stillness that preceded action. Tyler shrugged. Just stating facts. Special treatment because your dad's some war hero doesn't change biology. Crawford stood. This is about you and me, David. Ancient history you can't let go. My son shouldn't suffer for your grudges. Brennan's voice went dangerously quiet. Kuwait was 12 years ago. This is about your son assaulting my daughter today. But since you mention it, remember what I told you when I caught you selling weapons? Every action has consequences. You escaped them once. Don't assume pattern holds. He turned to Emma. Let's go. As they left, Emma asked, That's it? We're just leaving? Brennan wheeled her toward the exit. What's the first principle of asymmetric warfare? She smiled slightly. Choose the battlefield that maximizes your advantages. Exactly. This isn't our battlefield. This is reconnaissance. Over the next 2 hours in Brennan's study, Emma unburdened herself. 9 months of systematic psychological warfare, academic sabotage, social isolation, physical intimidation, all documented with the thoroughness her father had taught her. She'd even hacked the school's security system to map their patterns. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Brennan asked. I thought I could handle it. You taught me to be strong. Strength includes knowing when to call reinforcements. Even Delta operates with support. She showed him text messages Tyler's group had sent, planning a confrontation at Miller's diner the next day, where Emma studied weekly. They're predictable, she noted. I've mapped their harassment schedule. Brennan studied the messages, seeing threats escalate toward violence. You're not going. I have to. If I don't, they'll just reschedule. This needs to end. He recognized his own tactical thinking in her eyes. Then we use their plan against them. But we do it my way. Controlled engagement. Emma pulled out a modified wireless camera disguised as a decorative pin. Already handled. HD video, cloud backup, panic button with GPS. Brennan nodded slowly. Tomorrow, then. That evening, he made calls. Frank Torres, county sheriff and former teammate from Mogadishu. James Rodriguez, retired major who'd served with him in Kuwait and remembered the 3 men Crawford's treachery had killed. Both responded immediately. Old debts never expire. Miller's Diner occupied downtown Austin's oldest corner, chrome fixtures and vinyl booths unchanged since 1958. Brennan positioned himself in casual clothes, newspaper hiding his face, as Emma settled at her usual booth at 3:30. Tyler arrived at 3:42 with 5 teammates, swagger broadcasting intentions. They surrounded Emma's table, blocking exits, predators closing on prey. Working hard, Wheels? Tyler leaned over her. All that studying won't fix those legs. Emma didn't look up. I'm busy, Tyler. Too busy for the homecoming king? You don't have feelings, just impulses and insecurities dressed up as personality. One of Tyler's friends laughed before a glare silenced him. Tyler's face darkened. Think you're smart? Daddy's special soldier girl. I know I'm smart. Which is why I'm studying instead of engaging with whatever dominance display this is. Eleanor Miller, the owner, approached. That's enough. Order something or leave. Tyler ignored her, grabbing Emma's wheelchair handles and jerking backward. You know what your problem is? You think this chair makes you special, but you're just broken goods. He poured ice water over her head. Eleanor swung her coffee pot at Tyler. One of his friends caught her arm, twisting until she cried out. The pot shattered. Brennan stood. The movement was unhurried, predatory. Tyler didn't notice until Emma said simply, "Behind you." Tyler turned to find 6'2" of combat veteran, eyes cold as dawn in Fallujah. "Sir?" Tyler stammered, backing away. Brennan said nothing. His gaze moved methodically from Tyler to each teammate, memorizing faces, calculating threat assessments. "Remove your hand from my daughter's wheelchair." Brennan finally spoke, voice preternaturally calm. Tyler complied instantly. The others released Eleanor. "You have 30 seconds, Brennan continued, to explain why I shouldn't contact Sheriff Torres about assault charges." "We didn't assault anyone," Tyler protested. "Just water. She provoked us." Brennan stepped closer. I see 6 cowards using numbers against a perceived weaker opponent. Basic insurgent tactics, suicidal against trained opposition. He produced a USB drive. This contains 27 documented incidents of harassment, assault, and property destruction. Copies have been provided to the sheriff, principal, and school board. You're bluffing, Tyler said, uncertainty creeping in. Navy SEALs bluff. Delta Force executes. The diner door opened. Victor Crawford entered with 2 security men. Quite the scene, David. But this is my town now. Brennan turned slowly. Richard, still hiding behind others, I see. Crawford's smile tightened. Ancient history, Michael. I have the governor's number, the attorney general at my fundraisers, the local judge at my country club. Brennan pulled out his phone, displaying a military file with top-secret headers. Operation Desert Shield, Kuwait, 1991. Where did you get that? Those files were sealed. Delta operators develop unique skill sets. These records exist in multiple secure locations with distribution protocols should anything happen to me or my daughter. Crawford's face paled. What do you want? Justice. Your son will kneel and apologize, then perform 200 hours at the Veterans Rehabilitation Center, plus a 6-week course on respecting disabilities, public video apologies to the school. Ridiculous. I won't allow. Then I release everything. The Kuwait files, the bullying evidence, your son's sealed juvenile DUI. Your Senate campaign ends before announcement. Crawford stared at Brennan's implacable expression. Jason, do it. Dad? Now. Tyler sank to his knees before Emma, face burning. I'm sorry for assaulting you. It won't happen again. Emma studied him. Apology accepted conditionally. Your future actions will determine whether I believe it. As Crawford and his humiliated son departed, Emma turned to her father. Is this over? Brennan shook his head. This was the opening move. Crawford won't stop, but we've established terms of engagement. The Veterans Rehabilitation Center occupied a converted warehouse on Austin's east side. Director Samuel Burke, retired Army Ranger who'd lost both legs in Afghanistan, greeted them the next afternoon. Your special project arrived. Burke gestured toward Tyler and his teammates slouching in the lobby. How do you want to handle this? Same way the Army handled us? Break them down. Build them up. Tyler looked up as Brennan approached, reporting for punishment. Not punishment, education. Burke wheeled forward. I'm Master Sergeant Burke. For the next 200 hours you belong to me. You will address me as sir. You will respect every person here regardless of condition. Understood? Yes, sir, they mumbled. I can't hear you. Yes, sir. Better. Today you cleaned bathrooms, all 22, then mopped the gym, then sort medical supplies. As the boys were led away, Burke turned to Brennan. They're young, stupid, potentially salvageable. We'll see what they're made of. 2 days later, Brennan's phone rang. Emma's voice was tense but controlled. Someone tampered with my Jeep. Hand controls malfunctioned. I'm safe, but Dad, the bolts were deliberately loosened. Where are you? County Road 12, about 2 miles from Peterson Station. Lock the doors. I'm 10 minutes out. 8 minutes later, he found her sitting calmly, the .38 revolver he'd given her visible on her lap. Smart girl. Sheriff Torres arrived shortly after, documenting everything. This crosses a line, David. Vehicle tampering is felony attempted murder. Options. Officially, investigation, reports, probably nowhere. Unofficially, watch your back. Crawford's escalating faster than expected. That night, Brennan upgraded their home security to military specifications. Motion sensors, infrared cameras, reinforced access points. As he worked, Emma asked, "Tell me about Kuwait. What really happened between you two?" Brennan was silent for a long moment. 1991. I commanded a unit conducting operations behind enemy lines. We caught Crawford selling weapons to Iraqi forces, providing intelligence. 3 soldiers died in an ambush because of information he gave them. He should have faced execution for treason. But he didn't. His father was Major General Crawford. Pentagon connections. Richard got a discharge, sealed records. The families never knew the truth, and now he's running for Senate, with access to intelligence committees, which is why this isn't just about you anymore. It's national security. Emma's jaw set. So we stop him, whatever it takes. Over the following days, pieces moved into position. Emma hacked Crawford's campaign donor database, finding illegal foreign contributions. Brennan contacted old teammates who remembered Kuwait. Rodriguez assembled evidence never properly investigated. Torres documented the vehicle tampering with federal agents. The FBI search of Brennan's home came exactly as predicted. Agents found carefully placed documents suggesting classified material. Nothing actually illegal, but enough to justify Crawford's narrative. Meanwhile, Rodriguez delivered authentic Kuwait evidence to FBI field offices through channels Crawford couldn't control. At the Veterans Center, something unexpected happened. Tyler returned voluntarily after his father had legally extracted him from the program. "Why are you here?" Burke asked. "I still have hours to complete." And Tyler struggled with unfamiliar humility. "Because I need to be somewhere that isn't watching my father's disgrace on television." He'd spent 2 days working with Lieutenant Carlos Mendez, burn victim from Iraq, helping with therapy, hearing stories of real sacrifice. Tyler had begun questioning everything his father taught him. Emma arrived for her weekly chess strategy class. She paused, seeing Tyler. "Didn't expect you today." "Your father gave me a ride. Said commitments matter most when they're difficult to honor." Emma studied him with analytical precision. "Growth is painful, but necessary." "I'm sorry," Tyler said quietly. "Not because my father got caught. I'm sorry because what I did to you was wrong. Actions matter more than words, but you're here. That's a start." She gestured toward her waiting students. "If you want to learn strategic thinking, you're welcome to join." Tyler took a seat at the chess table, surrounded by wounded veterans of various ages. Emma began her lesson on sacrifice strategy, giving up valuable pieces for positional advantage. As she taught, Tyler found himself fully engaged. The principles applied far beyond chess. Strategic thinking, long-term planning, understanding that temporary setbacks could enable greater victories. Concepts his father had never taught, focused as he was on immediate dominance. Across the room, Brennan observed with cautious satisfaction. The boy had made a harder choice today, rejecting inherited privilege for earned respect. Whether it would endure remained uncertain, but transformation was possible. 3 days later, Crawford stood before the Veterans of Foreign Wars Hall, preparing his campaign announcement. Brennan sat in the back row, baseball cap low, unrecognizable. Crawford spoke eloquently about his military service during Desert Storm, careful omissions shaping a false narrative of honor and sacrifice. During questions, Brennan stood. "Mr. Crawford, could you elaborate on your role in Operation Desert Shield, Kuwait, 1991? Recognition rippled through the hall. Crawford's smile tightened. "Some operations remain classified, Colonel Brennan. Perhaps another topic." The hall doors opened. "That won't be necessary," Special Agent Thomas Reed announced, FBI credentials displayed. "Mr. Crawford, we need to discuss potential Espionage Act violations related to Operation Desert Shield." Chaos erupted. Crawford attempted to leave, finding Sheriff Torres blocking his exit. "Victor Crawford, you're wanted for questioning regarding attempted vehicular homicide." As Crawford was escorted out by federal agents, cameras captured everything. His Senate campaign imploded in real time. Outside, Emma wheeled toward her father. Is it over? The legal consequences are beginning. But our part? Yes, 12 years of waiting. Justice delayed but finally arriving. 2 years later, Brennan stood at West Point watching Emma receive her commission as Second Lieutenant, United States Army, Military Intelligence Corps. She wheeled across the stage independently, the first cadet in a wheelchair to complete the modified physical requirements while exceeding all academic standards. Beside him stood Burke and several veterans from the center, and Tyler Crawford, now a cadet at the Air Force Academy, transformed by those 200 hours into someone his father had never imagined he could become. As Emma accepted her officer's bars, Brennan rendered a perfect salute. Rachel would have been so proud. Their daughter had become extraordinary, not despite her wheelchair, but through the character and determination it had forged. Victor Crawford remained in federal prison, serving 20 years for treason and attempted murder. His Senate aspirations, replaced by consequences, finally delivered. For Colonel David Brennan, the last warrior had found peace, not in victory over enemies, but in the enduring legacy of a daughter who embodied everything worth defending. Mission complete.